Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Wilson. You watching EmceeTV, the podcast, coming at you live from EmceeTV studios in Des Moines, Iowa. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Um, just sitting here sipping on a cup of coffee. Today, we're going to have a little different topic. We're going to talk travel. We're going to talk about traveling to the West Coast, traveling out to LA, and things you might want to do out there. Got some notifications popping up on the cell phone. Shout out to Two Bears 1K for the hat. I got this from the homie Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. Big ups to them. They are a great listen, very funny podcast. So tune in, check them out. Frequent guests on the Joe Rogan podcast and many other spots. And frequently out at the Comedy Store in LA or at Rogan's Club in Austin, Texas. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and just get into it. Let's start talking travel. All right, so if you're going to the West Coast, my question is, where would you go? I mean, I'm talking SoCal, Southern California. If you're going out there, what's your bucket list? Where would you go? What would you go see? So I'm gonna run through my little family vacation trip that I got planned. But I'm gonna drop this in the chat real quick. And where would you go? So drop me a comment down below. Drop me a comment down below. I need some more coffee. Let's get the chat rocking. But let me know where you'd go. What would be on your bucket list? What things would you want to see? And where would you want to go? I've been out to LA lots. I've been super spoiled, super lucky. With all the trips I got to go to California and go visit friends and family out there. And so to me, I feel like I got it pounded down pretty good. I know where I want to go when I go out there, but I always tighten it up. You know what I mean? And this time, because I've been there so many times, I'm trying to come up with new places to go and new things to see. So without any further ado, let's get it cracking. Turn this volume down here. All right, so let me just pivot over here to a different document. All right, so I'm gonna be out there in July. July is a good time to go. It's nice and warm. To me, some people say it's too hot, whatever. I'm out here in Iowa. You know what I mean? We get a lot of cold weather. July should be nice for Iowa, but currently, it's rainy, kind of gloomy right now. And so for me, to get out there and soak up a little sun, it's perfect. It's perfect. A lot of people want to go to Venice Beach. Venice Beach is a perfect spot to go. I like to do photography. I shoot a lot of pictures. You guys know that. I share them with you on here as well. But Venice Beach is a good one because they got everything there. I mean, aside from the tourists that are wandering around, there's Muscle Beach, there's the basketball courts, there's all sorts of street performers. You name it, Venice Beach has got it. There's quote unquote freaks, you know what I mean? People doing crazy stunts where they're showing off piercings and all sorts of stuff. And then there's just regular folks that are selling paintings and painting and doing caricatures and things like that. So it's everything you could think of and more. And to me, Venice Beach is a must, you know what I mean? But it's kind of cliche because it's a touristy thing to do. And so, but we're going to go. We're for sure going to be at Venice Beach. That's something that is definitely on the bucket list. And usually I always make it there because I'm trying to go. I like to take pictures of the skateboarders, the graffiti, you know what I mean? Dip my toe in the water a little bit, maybe pop a gummy bear and walk up and down the boardwalk a little bit and just have fun. You know what I mean? Just out there moving and grooving. And so to me, Venice Beach is definitely a must. Sorry, I'm sharing the pod on Facebook real quick just to get a couple people up in here. Let everybody know I'm live. I'm live on Facebook, on YouTube. Just kidding. Boom. Okay, my bad. Back to focusing on you guys. But yeah, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what would be on your bucket list. Where would you go? What would be important for you to see? So my son's all about basketball. Got a lot of basketball stuff on here. My daughter is not so much into basketball, but she likes women's sports, and so I think we've compromised. We found something that's appealing. There's a WNBA game going on out there. It is the LA Sparks against the Phoenix Mercury, I want to say is who it is. Where are we at here? Um, Scrubbing through my, yeah, Phoenix Mercury, LA Sparks at the Crypto Center. Um, Got the homie Matt going with me out there to LA, and he is a fan of the Lakers. And the Lakers play at the Crypto Center, I believe. And so, obviously that's big for him, even though it's not a Lakers game. Um, he still gets to see where his squad throws the ball. So, so to me, that's still pretty dope. And so, baby steps, we got to take what we can get. The Lakers ain't gonna be. It's not Lakers season. The Lakers ain't gonna be hooping while we're out there. But you know what I mean. We're gonna swing through the building. We're gonna try and pop in and see if we can't check out a game. And I think those are pretty cost effective. I think you can catch a WNBA game for like $40, $50. You know what I mean? And so that's a little easier to palate than if we were all going to a Lakers game. You know what I mean? We're probably looking at $1,000, or more. And so I think the WNBA game should be cool. You know what I mean? We could check that off the bucket list. But also Venice Beach, they've got a lot of summer league stuff going on out there. They've got Venice Beach ball, and it usually jumps off around 4 o'clock. And they've got sunset games where people are hooping. You know what I mean? Anybody that's old enough to remember White Man Can't Jump, uh, would remember that, that's kind of the setting where they were hooping. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of dudes throwing the ball around, street ball. But these are serious games. You know what I mean? These dudes may not be playing in the NBA, but they got some real 3-on-3 games going on, and 5-on-5 and whatever. You know what I mean? So um, that's definitely on the bucket list. For me, every time I go to LA, it's a must. It's a must. I'm a big fan of comedy. I'm a big fan of the Comedy Store. Anybody knows the history on that? Mitzi Shore got that in the divorce when she divorced Pauly Shore's dad, and that was kind of the one thing she wanted. She said, "I just want the club," and she grew that into being one of the most special places in the world. And that obviously that's uh, personal choice, but the Comedy Store is awfully special to me. I sat next to Chris Rock in there one night. Me and my little brother Mackenzie were up in there, and we were watching the open mic night. And Chris Rock came through and broke out his phone and was running through his set for Tambourine before it went live on Netflix. He just flew back from a Lakers game, and he was right next to me and my little brother. And so you never know who's going to pop in at the Comedy Store. It's an awesome spot, and even the people that are scheduled to come in are no slouch. You know what I mean? These are the who's who of the mecca of Hollywood. You know what I mean? You got people like Craig Conant, Burt Kreischer. I saw Ray Romano pop in one night. Me and the wife were in there, and he popped in and just killed it. But there's so many people. Ari was a door guy that worked his way up to the stage there years ago. Rogan used to rock it on a regular. But this is the home to the greats like Richard Pryor and David Letterman and so many more. Martin Lawrence used to kill in there. You know what I mean? On a regular, he'd show up and wreck the mic. And so yeah, I mean that's a must for me. There's all sorts. There's 3 different rooms. They got the OR, which is the original room. They got the main room, and then they got the belly room. And so there's 3 different clubs or rooms within the building, and surely you should be able to find a show for something that you want to see while you're out there. So that's always on the bucket list. Me and the homie Nuisance and the homie Matt went a couple of times. Even during COVID, they had like a plexiglass deal, and the performers were performing in the window, and they just had the mic broadcasting to like the patio speakers, and we just sat outside and watched. So um, I've it's a must. It's a must every time I go. So definitely that's gonna be on the bucket list. Today we're talking travel. It's not all hip hop, but there's definitely going to be some hip hop on here. I'm going to try and line up some interviews while I'm out there. I'm in people's inboxes right now trying to set things up and see if I can't maybe put something together while I'm out in LA. I mean, I'm going out there for other things, but we're going to piggyback some work on top of this. We're going to make it a work trip. Uh, uh, Secrets out. Secrets out. Gonna let the wife and kids know we're gonna be doing a little work. I rented us a 1996 Geo Metro. There's gonna be 6 of us rat packed into it, and we're gonna be cruising around LA doing interviews. So if you see me, chuck a deuce. I'm just kidding. It's not a 96 Geo Metro. It's a 94. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But okay, so for the folks that like something a little more organized, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers does a fabulous tour. Me and my mom, my little brother Mackenzie, uh, my wife and kids, and my aunt Angie all went and caught a Warner Brothers tour years ago, and she grew up in L.A., lived her whole life in California, and she said to me after we were done, "I can't believe I never did this." You know what I mean? She was like, "I appreciate you." Bringing this up and suggesting that we go check this out. We did it. It was a blast. It carves out a good portion of an afternoon. They take you around on a golf cart or one of these little trams, but it was fun. It was cool. You get to see a lot of the studios, the behind the scenes stuff. I think it's $80 a person, $81 a person, something like that. Well worth your time. So we're gonna definitely try and hit one of those up and mess with it. I mean, that's a little more organized. You know what I mean? That's a little more touristy. Sometimes I go off the beaten path. Sometimes I try and do something like this. We've done those the tours that are like a crop top van. We've done those as well, where you get a tour through the Hollywood Hills and you get to see the celebrity homes. Those are kind of fun. Me and my little brother Cap, his girlfriend Anna Lynn, and my kids and the wife all did it. It was fun. It was fun. I would do that again. I kind of pitched that this time too. You can find a good one of those for 35 to 40 bucks, depending on which company you go through. And sometimes they're even, I mean, you got cash in hand. They're ready to negotiate right there on the strip. They'll tell you, hey, meet you back here at this time, blah, blah, blah. And so, sometimes you can wheel and deal with them dudes a little bit in terms of price, but I think I was just checking the price, and it looks like they're about 30 to 50 bucks, depending on which company you go through. I know TMZ does one, and a handful of other ones. Pro tip on that one: you're going to be out in the sun, cruising around for a couple hours, running up and down Mulholland and different streets out there in LA, and so you're going to want. They don't all have a cover on them. I mean, they're like a crop top van, but some of them have a tarp over. If you're not prepared to just be baking in the sun for 2 hours in July, it's gonna get a little warm. You know what I mean? If you got the sunblock on, you got a bald ass head like me, you might get a little crispy. So you're gonna probably want you're gonna want to pick one with a roof. And I didn't think about that originally, but one of the reviews said make sure you choose one with a roof, and I thought, oh yeah, you know what, we decided that last time. All right, next up on the list, Bob's Big Boy. This picture comes in from Takashi on Google. He was just a contributor that was there a couple days. Shout out to Takashi. I appreciate you throwing this picture in. It's a great picture. This is a throwback diner in Burbank. We're staying out in Burbank, and so this is right around the corner. It's the dude with the suspenders. He's got the kind of pop belly. He looks like a little kid almost. Got the 50s style haircut and whatnot. Never been to one. Been to LA a million times. Never been to one. They got a billion places to choose from to eat. We'd like to get Mexican food out there. They make, I mean, obviously it's just north of Mexico, and the heritage runs deep. They got phenomenal Mexican food out there. But I've never been to Bob's Big Boy, and they got one in Burbank, Glendale area, and we are staying out there. So I think we're gonna go peep this out. Looks like you can get by for about 20 bucks a pop with tip. I think most things were around 13 to 15 bucks. It's like a 50s style diner, so it's not super expensive. They do breakfast, they do lunch, they do dinner. Um, it looks cool. So it's something new. We're going to try and check off the bucket list and peep out. I'm trying to rip through these quick because I'm trying to condense a lot in there. I don't got a tremendous amount of time today. I got to go run and go say what's up to my dude, Terry. Uh, Terry's my homie who used to come and visit me all the time at the bar I work at. And He's not able to come anymore. He's in a nursing home. So I figure this man visited me every single day. The least I could do is go say what's up to my dude. And so he's stuck in there. So but yeah, Bob's a big boy. You know what I mean? That's on the bucket list. We're gonna peep it out. Uh definitely something we're gonna check out. What else do we got here? So, LA, West Coast, cannabis is legal. There's a lot of people that got into the cannabis business. Exhibit has a West Coast cannabis store in Bel Air. Shout out to Exhibit's dispensary for this image. Uh, I'm gonna try and peep it out. Even if you don't partake, they got cool, what do you want to call it? Souvenirs and whatnot, you know what I mean? Exhibit related material. I'm a big fan of hip hop, you know what I mean? So even if I wasn't going out there to grab a bag of dank to puff on, or some gummies or whatever, you know what I mean? Exhibit's got cool memorabilia and whatnot up in there. And they usually got stickers and different things. So I'm gonna peep it out, you know what I mean? Kind of when in Rome, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go check it out and see what's up. But he just opened a new one. Let me see if I got the tab still pulled up. Exhibit just opened a new dispensary. It's not listed here. But he's got three of them right now. There was Bel Air, there was Chatsworth, and shoot, I'm not seeing the. Oh, here we go. I was on the wrong page. And LA on Sepulveda. And so we're going to peep that out. That's definitely on the list. Uh, yeah, you know what I mean? Obviously, the kids can't come in. You know what I mean? Get them an ice cream, let them kick it across the street or whatever, and dip in there real quick and peep it out, or maybe just make a separate trip while they're swimming at the pool. You know what I mean? It's right around the way. Snoop Dogg's Death Row Records retail store is in Inglewood. Me and the homie Matt have been out there before. It's a dope spot. It's right across the street from the SoFi Stadium. And we went and kind of wandered around the SoFi Stadium. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but we did last time. We peeped it out. That was a big deal for him. He's a football guy. It was cool for me too. You know what I mean? Like no shade, but I mean, he's the one in the trenches when it comes to football and the sports and whatnot. So yeah, so I mean, you can knock out essentially two birds with one stone. We went in and peeped out the Death Row shop, copped some gear. They had these dope Snoop Dogg bags that your merch comes out in. So kind of a cool little joint. And so we're probably going to peep that out, and then we'll hit the SoFi Stadium across the street and walk around the outside, check out the fountains and whatnot. Peterson Automotive Museum is downtown. That is right by the La Brea Tar Pits, I believe. At least we passed it on our way to the La Brea Tar Pits when me and the homie went and peeped that out. I don't think we paid to go to the La Brea Tar Pits. I think you can walk through there for free. There is an inside museum that you have to pay to go visit. That was closed when we were there. Um, Long Beach has got some very, very dope things coming. They got a new amphitheater. If you're going to be out there around June, the homie Nuisance told me about the Snoop Dogg concert. It's supposed to be Snoop Dogg and friends. Not exactly indicating who the friends are currently, but it's Snoop Dogg and friends. And those tickets are on sale. I don't have a link currently, but I believe if you just Google Snoop Dogg at the Long Beach Amphitheater, you should be able to find the tickets. Shout out to the homie Nuisance One for putting me up on game on that one. I would love to make that one, but I just don't think I'm going to make it. Okay. We were talking food. I had I've had this Exhibit icon up there the whole time. That's okay. Much love to Exhibit. Every time I go to LA, this is going to sound like I eat terrible. I got all the burgers on here, but every time I go to LA, it's a must. This used to be just an LA thing. It is now branched out, and they have it in Denver. We were just out in Phoenix, and I saw an In-N-Out Burger out there. Shout out to Fox News 11 LA for the image. But In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is, what's up? I got the homie Big Shrimpy up in here. Heartbreak Kid, Heartbreak King. Much love, bro. Much love. Appreciate you tuning in and peeping out the pod. I was just running through the must-see spots in LA. That's my guy, though. Much love, much love. Hopefully you saw that new picture I dropped. I got a gang of them I'm about to drop. But yeah, So In-N-Out Burger is always a must. You know what I mean? You can watch them smashing the potatoes right there and dicing them up and throwing them in the fryer. All the burgers are made fresh. They got cool memorabilia. It's a burger joint, but it's a West Coast thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of a rite of passage. The line is usually big. I'm gonna warn y'all. The line is big to get up in there if you're trying to run through the drive-through. But you know, I mean, they got the outside little patio joints usually with a table. We like to post up and just peep those out and sit down for a quick minute, smash a burger, and then be on your way. They do animal fries. I'm not really a dude that decorates my fries usually a whole bunch, but if you go up in there, peep out the animal fries. I think it's Thousand Island dressing, which sounds wild. It works. It works on the fries. I'm not really a Thousand Island dressing dude either, but animal fries. That's where it's at. So mess that up. Give it a run. Give it a run. What else? There's a lot of burger chains out there. Fat Burger, I believe E40 invests in the Fat Burger chain. I think he owns a couple of those. Marathon Burger is another one. So that one's new. I think that's from the legacy of Nipsey Hussle. He had Marathon Clothing, and I think they kept that rolling. And maybe his brother, and I don't know if Nips was necessarily married, but I'm assuming that's part of his legacy is Marathon Burger. They've got one in Long Beach that just opened. The homie Nuisance put me up on that, and then I think they have a couple others. We're gonna try and dip through a Marathon Burger again. Not super healthy on this route, but it's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? We're gonna smash. Um, Also, let me grab a graphic for this. Uh, as a must, you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Danny Trejo and the stuff that he has done over the years. His story is super cool, but also just I like what he does. You know what I mean? The things that he gets involved with turn out to be cool, and just all of that. So we definitely gonna peep out Trejo's Tacos. And kind of new to me, he also has Trejo's Donuts, and so that's something we're gonna peep out. Again, not super healthy. The tacos are good. That's why I like tacos, because it ain't the fried food and the potatoes and all of that. You know what I mean? Usually there's something a little healthier up in there, and and so we're gonna try and mess with some Trejo's tacos. And I love the Mexican food, y'all. Anybody that knows me, they're like, damn, this motherfucker always eating a burrito, some tacos, a quesadilla. You know what I mean? I'm up in there. I'm up in there. So I love the Mexican culture, the Hispanic culture. Um, we got some dope spots in Des Moines that I tend to hit. You know what I mean? People ask me where to go to eat. I say, oh, West. You know what I mean? Old West always got some dope. They're phenomenal at what they do. They've got fantastic staff. The food is great. So if you slide through Des Moines, check out Old West. But if you're out in LA, you know what I mean. There's a lot of options for Mexican food, but one that we want to peep out is Trejo's Tacos, and it's ran by Danny Trejo, and I believe on occasion, you can catch a glimpse of Danny Trejo himself up in there, kicking it at the spot. I think Nuisance ran into him there, and he got a picture with him, and so I feel like my cousin Nolan did too. So big up to my cousin Nolan and Holly. They still live out there in LA. LA adjacent, you know what I mean, in the area. My cousin Holden out there. So I'm gonna slide through. I'm gonna say what's up to the fam. You know what I mean? And we're gonna kick it a little bit, but there's Trejo's Tacos and Trejo's Donuts. And so I'm gonna try and maybe get a little snack at each one. You know what I mean? I know that Trejo's Tacos has several different locations. We hit the one in downtown Hollywood once, and it was me. I feel like the wife was there. I think Nuisance was there, and I think Matt was there. One of them people might be extra. Maybe the wife wasn't there. Maybe it was just me, Nuisance, and Matt when we were wandering around. That sounds right. That sounds right. Either way, there's Danny Trejo has several different locations. Trejo's Tacos, big ups to him, and I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna support what he got going on. What else we got? What else we got? Let me pivot back over to my list here, y'all. Oh shit, he had a picture with Fluffy on the website when I opened it back up. Um, Hip Hop Till Infinity Museum. Now, this one I'm not super familiar with. Um, and I'm not even a whole bunch of familiar with. It's 6400 Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. It says it's a state of the art audio visual technology bringing 50 years of hip hop history to life in an immersive exhibit, not a museum, an exhibit. Uh, and oh, shoot. It says Hip Hop Till Infinity is now closed in Los Angeles. Stay tuned for the next cities. Shoot. Okay. Well, that's too bad. I was gonna see if I could quote a price for y'all and let you know what the price is. If anybody's been to it, drop me a comment down below. I mean, it looks dope. You know, they got some sick photos. They got flyers. It looks like it ran January 12th to April 28th, 2024. Um, it's a 90-minute run. Tickets were $30 a pop. Man, that's too bad. And maybe I'd catch it in Chicago or something. That would have been dope. That would have been dope. All right, well, Hip Hop Till Infinity is no longer in LA. So it was worth a try though. You know what I mean? It was worth a try. What else we got on here? Snoop Dogg has a dispensary. Snoop just opens one. And it is called, it's a quote from one of the joints he did with Dr. Dre. It is called SWED, Smoke Weed Every Day. It says it's the official Snoop Dogg cannabis dispensary. It's the number one cannabis dispensary near LAX, offering expert bud tenders and delivery to Playa del Rey, El Segundo, Inglewood, and more. It's at 5494 West Centennial Ave in LA. It closes at 10 o'clock. I think we're going to try and poke our heads in there. We're already going to be in Inglewood area. You know what I mean? Inglewood. Shout out to Mac 10. We're already going to be in Inglewood area running through from the SoFi Center and the Snoop Dogg Death Row Records retail establishment and some of that other joint. Pro tip: when you do this, all right, and I don't mean to be condescending by any means. Some people been to LA, some people ain't. I've been to LA a lot. When you do this, you want to map your spots out because in LA, backtracking will kill you. You can look at something and go, all right, it's 15 miles. We'll do it in 15 minutes. No big deal. Don't work that way. 15 miles could take you 30 to 45 minutes. Might take you a little longer. Traffic is rough in LA. It's just a thing. People know that. Most people know that. Some people know that. Everybody should know that. But if you don't, you want to factor in traffic. So what I like to do is I will plot my destinations on a Google map and I will look to make sure this is in a logical order because if I'm in Thousand Oaks and I gotta sometimes I'm in Thousand Oaks. Maybe I got it like that. All right, y'all. Don't be questioning where I'm at. Maybe I'm in Calabasas spending money. Nah, I ain't got it like that. But if I'm in Thousand Oaks, way up here, and I got to get down to Long Beach over here to go visit Nuisance, I don't want to go Long Beach, then up to Glendale, and then over here to Santa Monica. You know what I mean? You gotta set them in order so that you map your shit out so you're not backtracking because getting around in LA can burn up a lot of time. So you wanna try and organize your route, if you will. You got a route, you got to plan it out. Yeah, you know what I mean? But let me know. How do you guys do a trip? You know what I mean? This is aside from hip hop, I love going on vacations. Who doesn't love vacation, right? But no, I love traveling. I love peeping out new spots. It goes hand in hand with me for hip hop though, because I go peep out some new graffiti in a different city. That's another thing. We were just out in Denver. We hit the Rhino District. Rhino District has massive amounts of street art, which is phenomenal. LA, one of the spots where street art took off. You know what I mean? New York and LA kind of pioneered this art. And so I got a whole list I'll post. There's a list of Kobe murals that I grabbed from somebody online. It shows them all across the country, but LA has some of the baddest Kobe murals. There is a shout out to at SEF period 01 on Instagram. I thought it was Steph. I thought that's funny. Maybe it is. I think it's SEF though. It's a prominent artist that did a NWA mural with Snoop, Warren G, and Nate Dogg as well as I'm sorry, these are two different murals. So there is a NWA mural by Seth, and that one's one we're going to check out on La Brea in LA. And then there is a Snoop, Warren, Nate Dogg, Kobe, Tiny Lister, Nipsey Hussle, Easy E, and I can't tell who that other person is in the hoodie. Sorry, the picture's small. And that one's at 2725 East South Street in Long Beach. We're gonna peep that one out too. Again, the homie True is a big Kobe fan. He's a big, I mean, Kobe's his GOAT, right? I mean, me, I lean a little more towards Michael Jordan, but hey, I wasn't really in basketball for the Kobe era. I mean, I was around obviously, but I wasn't tapped in on the basketball scene like that. I was, I was doing ratchet shit. And so, you know what I mean? I wasn't watching basketball. And so I missed all that. I know who he is, but anyways, long story short, short story long. Uh, but you know what I mean? We're gonna scope out some of these Kobe joints, not to mention that overlaps with my son. We got this Venn diagram. You know what I mean? The middle is where the things overlap. These are the things we want to do as a group, and Kobe's in there in the middle. And my daughter's into street art, my wife's into street art, I'm into street art. So it fits the niche. It's good for everybody. You know what I mean? And so yeah, so we're gonna peep that one out. I'll post some of these locations. Um, there's so much to do. You know what I mean? You really got to plan it out because there's a lot to do. And LA is fun. You know what I mean? If you go to the comedy store, there's a dope spot right down the street called the Saddle Ranch Chop House. Sounds like a strip club. It is not. It's on Sunset Boulevard, 8371 Sunset in West Hollywood. Me and the homie True have gone there a couple times. The sampler platter's massive. I don't even think we finished it last time. It was big, and then we went and caught some shit at the comedy store. We looked up a couple of different things. El Coyote Mexican Cafe is known for its old school atmosphere and once upon a time in Hollywood scenes. $20 to $30 a plate. That's on Beverly Boulevard in Los Angeles. Supposed to be pretty dope. I already told y'all about the Bob's Big Boy joint. Randy's Donuts. I'm a big hip hop fan. If you're watching the channel, you probably deep in the trenches with the hip hop with me. Randy's Donuts is a LA thing. It's an Inglewood thing. It's a Burbank thing, but it's also a hip hop thing. Randy's Donuts in Inglewood has been featured in several movies, but it's also it's iconic in a lot of hip hop music videos. And so 805 West Manchester, shout out Randy's Donuts in Inglewood. That's one we probably gonna peep out. Barney's Beanery is a place on West Hollywood, and it's like a sports bar, I believe. It looks pretty dope though. Never been to it. I've driven past it. Delicious Pizza. Now this is very cool. It's a hip hop themed pizza shop that is got a record store next door. It's very 90s West Coast hip hop. It's founded by the team that launched artists like Tone Loc and The Far Side. And it's at 5419 West Adams Boulevard in Los Angeles. These are all on my list. Well, you know what I mean? I make a list. We start chopping it down. You know what I mean? Just like the homie Big Ray West said, you gotta have a list. But we go. I've been to Delicious Pizza. I don't think I got a slice. I think the homie True got a slice last time. I did not, and I kind of regretted it. I'll be honest. I missed out. I regretted it. So this time I'm gonna make sure I get me a slice of Delicious Pizza. But I did cop some vinyl. My mom held it for me for a little while, and then she mailed it back to me, sent it back with somebody to me. Either way, she had a check bag. I was balling on a budget, did not have a check bag, couldn't bring the vinyl home. So I sound like I'm really cheap saying that out loud. Trejo's Tacos, 6333 West 3rd Street, stall 322 is the farmer's market version. But like I said, Danny Trejo's got a lot of them. There's a Marathon Burger on Melrose. They got the new one in Long Beach. Trejo's Coffee and Donuts on Santa Monica in LA. Pink's Hot Dogs. Pink's Hot Dog has been featured in a lot of movies. Expect a Line. It's going to be big. That's right on there in Hollywood, West Hollywood. It's kind of a rite of passage. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? It's been featured in several movies, like I said. Standard chili dogs around $7 to $9, so it's not really going to break the bank. If you go to Lake Hollywood Park, They got a playground. It's free to park there, but they got great views of the Hollywood sign from there. Melrose Avenue has a ton of graffiti. Melrose, Fairfax. If you walk east from there, you'll see the Pink Wall by Paul Smith, Made in LA, and tons of other street art that changes. Um, the Retina Wall, located at West Hollywood Library, is a massive, intricate calligraphy that looks great on a camera. What else? What else do we got? So this one's a little trendy. You know what I mean? It's the cliche thing to do, but they got the TCL Chinese Theater and Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's free. You just got to find some parking if you're parking a car, but you can walk the street. You can see the concrete that when people put their hands in the concrete when they do a premiere of a new movie. You can see that, and those are kind of fun to get to peep out. Tom Cruise's hands or Morgan Freeman or whoever, you know what I mean? Um, they do have a lot of 99 cent um, Hollywood souvenir shops right there. You can get dope hoodies and different things in that area. I think the homie True got his Nipsey Hustle and Kobe hoodie down in that area from one of those shops. Still rocks it to this day. Thing's got to be 6 years old, and it's didn't lose any luster. It's a good looking hoodie. So you can get some stuff on a budget down there. Universal City Walk, another kind of trendy thing to do. It's a free walk though. I mean, if you're going to Universal Studios, you're gonna have to pay for your ticket. But if you just walk Universal Studios, I'm sorry, Universal City Walk, you just got to find a parking spot. You can walk. Parking can be expensive in that area. I would use Spot Hero. Spot Hero is what we use. You can find dope parking garages and things on a budget. We used it in Detroit. We use it in Minneapolis. I already picked out some spots I'm going to use it for in LA. After 5 o'clock, parking often drops to $10. It's a great spot to see the neon lights. They've got live music later in the evening as well. Dancing fountains, cool stuff like that. So Universal City Walk, I've never done it. That's gonna be one I think we're gonna do. It looks fun. I think I've kind of rambled on. We touched on a lot of stuff. Getting a hotel is usually the toughest part, but we got a sweet hotel in LA, LA adjacent. We're not in LA, but we're right outside. And you know what I mean? Allegiant had a sweet flight flying in from Iowa. You know what I mean? We got round trip tickets for $170. You can't beat that. It's a straight through flight, no up down. You know what I mean? We're just there. I'm excited. I'm excited. This should be dope. We're gonna line up some dope hip hop interviews to bring out your way. Shout out to my homie Sean from the Cellar Boys. I appreciate you tuning in and watching today, and listening to the plan for LA. I'm gonna reach out to AFRO and some of the other homies, maybe Shoe Gang. I mean, I ain't gonna give you all the secrets, but I'm gonna reach out to some of the homies and see if we can't line up some interviews. Taking the camera with me, I'm taking EmceeTV with me, and we're gonna see if we can't maybe go live and do some interviews from LA and make it happen. I mean, I've done some LAs out there in the past. I've done some interviews in LA out in the past, and I'm excited to bring this one to y'all. But I gotta go to work here in a little bit. I gotta go say what's up to my man Terry, so I better jump off with y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in, watching. As always, thank you so much. The pod continues to grow. We're creeping on 10,000 subs. Got a lot of momentum behind these, so thank you so much for everybody that's commenting, actively watching, sharing, telling your friends, sharing the snippets. We had the Afro Man joint that's got 250,000 views on it now. I think the YouTube version has close to 80,000 views on it. So people are tuning in. So I do appreciate y'all. I mean, y'all are the reason we do this, aside from the love of hip hop. You know what I mean? That's why we do this. So until next time, it's your boy Wilson for EmceeTV. Appreciate y'all tuning in and watching with me, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jumps. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them goons ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck them like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, softer than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.